Sekiro is definitely up there among the hardest games of all time. It's either learn the fundamentals or go out that door. Unless it can be opened from this side. Since I've already ranked them once, today I'm letting my community rank the top 5 worst mistakes you can make in Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. For this, I'm not only relying on my YouTube comments, but also I've created a poll where you've shared not only wonderful suggestions, such as cheesing the swordsman bosses and spamming parry, thank you guys, but also hilarious posts like dropping your console from your balcony and making music, both of which mentioned no progress in Sekiro in between brackets. Thank you guys, I wouldn't have guessed. Let's start the list with... This is Sketchy9339 who says, for the new players, fighting the ape before obtaining Mortal Blade is a pretty bold choice, and possibly a poor one if they're unfamiliar with Souls-like parry games. I second his idea. The Mortal Blade can definitely be a cheat code / kind of easy mode if you know how to take advantage of it. It does a lot of health and posture damage, and its weakened version with no emblems can also hit where it hurts. The only downside to this technique is how open it leaves you if you're dealing with an enemy that doesn't get staggered by the slash, which can be compensated by simply using it when you evade or parry an attack that requires a long time for the enemy to recover. However, if you don't have the patience to wait for them to expose themselves, you can either use the firecrackers or throw some dust at the enemy's face. After beating Sekiro almost a dozen times, I still struggle a bit with how erratic his first phase is. And instead of being a good YouTuber who would practice the hell out of the fight to provide you guys with quality footage, I love to do this instead.
Look at all this damage!
And that's why I agree with him. Without the blade, you can't speedrun the ape, and it also means you've gone to the Sunken Valley before Simpo Temple, which isn't an optimal route for beginners. One thing I love about this game is that you can go to many places after you defeat the Blazing Bull. You don't have to fight Genichiro from the get-go. Instead, you can visit the Gun Fort, you can go all the way to the shrine where you ring the bell to fight the monkeys, but there is no bell yet. And you can also go all the way to the Mibu village and fight the corrupted monk. I appreciated this freedom a lot in my subsequent playthroughs, but for a deflection newbie, the recommended order is Genichiro, Simpo Temple, Sunken Valley, and Mibu village. Fighting the ape before acquiring all the skills and resources you can get in Simpo Temple will noticeably increase the difficulty of the game. Antihero commented, the worst decision I made was running on the roof in Ashina Castle, not looking around and knowing that I'm safe because I already escaped those assassins chasing me. I have no resurrect, no potion, and just trying to live so I can save at Ashina Antechamber. Then one stupid assassin came flying down from a kite and gave me a flying headbutt and I died. We've all been there, brother, trust me. These guys are some of the most random thing I've seen in this game. Second place to giving a persimmon to a child so she can cry frozen tears that will help her consume my master and have him inside of her. Anyways, I definitely did not expect a dude cosplaying as a bird to kamikaze me. What's this dude's routine when Wolf is not there? Does he just stay glued to this cute kite waiting for trespassers to come by so he can bury them with his head? Sounds dope actually. Despite how relatable this is, I wouldn't put this in a top 5 worst mistakes because if you learn your way to where he kills you, there's not even 30 seconds to get back there. Worst case scenario is losing half your sen and skill points if you die to him, which won't happen anymore unless... well, you don't expect a second one because why not FromSoftware? You guys think you're funny, huh? Miyazaki, I'll stay outside your office, hopped on my kite, and I'll wait as many hours as it's needed to headbutt you on your way out. Let's see if it's so funny. Let's hope he doesn't know this can be buried. Theosun8091 wrote, a really bad choice is using thrust attack against Owlfather. And Weakest Pizza Enjoyer 5 read my mind because I was going to say exactly that. All the skill tree that Wolf has from the beginning of his adventure has been taught by Owl. I guess we have to unlock it since Wolf lost his groove because of the time he spent rotting in that cave after he lost Kuro and his dad, supposedly. Thing is, if Wolf can Mikiri, you bet your ass his old man can do it too. And it's not only the thrust you do while holding the right trigger, but actually every attack that counts as a thrust, like all the spear variants, and even Shadow Rush. Al doesn't miss a single chance to step on your sword and impale you with his version of the washing pole. Are you trying to compensate for something, Al? Well, I lied, because in fact you can hit him with the thrust, as long as he's busy doing something else, or if he's back turned. Shivansh mentioned the worst mistake is to hope for a DLC. Don't even remind me of that, dude. Every time I think we could have annihilated Tomoe or Malenia while being parry machines ourselves, instead we had to fight her with a lowly tarnished, I start feeling Shura simmering inside of me. When I remember of all those times I suffered with what the fuck dance, to think that I could have parried the shit out of her, it makes my blood boil. After 7 years of being released and almost 6 years with no patches, I've given up hope, because I've actually deposited all of it in a Bloodborne anything. Like, not even a remaster, Sony, just anything. Give me a new pixel in the game and you'll make my day. All jokes aside, I don't understand how this is not a possibility. The Witcher 3 is releasing a brand new story DLC 11 years after the game's release. Why can't we get a Sekiro DLC of young Ishin and his coup to take control of Ashina? Or at least Genichiro's perspective of the game and his quest to find the second mortal blade. Hell, I would even be happy with a quick-time event minigame of Emma taking care of the sculpture. Or Sekiro himself. For my honorable mentions, I've seen that... Firstly, Hollow Knight Fan123 said not getting Mikiri counter early, and I couldn't agree more with that. Something funny that keeps happening to me every time I start a new playthrough from scratch is that when you fight Genichiro for the first time, I always dash towards him the moment I see the red kanji above my head, forgetting that I haven't even unlocked the skill tree yet, and hence, no Mikiri counter. Don't forget to unlock Mikiri, guys, it's an indispensable part of Sekiro's arsenal, and you'll need it for a lot of humanoid bosses and mini-bosses like Ishin, the Seven Spears, Genichiro, the Shinobi Hunters, both Corrupted Monks, Allfather, and so on. Rav the Legend 8606 and also an anonymous user on my poll wrote that the worst mistake you can make in this game is rage quitting before getting good, or before beating Genichiro, which are synonyms. I've always considered Genichiro is for Sekiro, that which Father Gascoigne is for Bloodborne, a decisive boss that teaches you the ins and outs of their respective games. They're very similar in a sense that to beat them, aggressiveness is the word. The same way that Gascoigne will grind you into paste if you keep dashing away, Genichiro will recover all his posture, and will also deplete yours if you just try to block his long combos. For everyone out there who has quit Bloodborne or Sekiro because they couldn't get past these two fellas, listen up.
Go balls out.
Don't let them breathe. Parry them. When they do nothing, you attack. When they telegraph an attack, you attack first. Parry as much as you can. And that's it. You're now capable of defeating these two tutorial bosses. Disclaimer, don't apply these tactics on beasts or enemies that seem to be taken from other IPs. Finally, for my last honorable mention, Anon and Reflection9572 said that killing the Guardian Ape and then going to Mibu is a bad choice. Now, we're in a sort of a conflict here, because on the one hand I understand you perfectly. A day that I don't have to fight the ape duo is a happy day for me, but on the other hand, I'm a brain-dead completionist. And I simply can't pass on that fight, because if I'm not looking for the ape duo achievement, I'm grinding skill points for the unlock all skills Chivo, and boss fights do give you a lot of experience, which means I'm permanently forced to fight F-tier duo. And here we are, about to reveal the first spot. You know, when I read your comment, Nicolas Madalena 5679, I really had an oh shit moment, because Sekiro is reminded again and again that hesitation is defeat. So to say that to hesitate is the worst mistake you can make in this game, like Glock Saint Ishin said, is a truth bomb like no other. Ishin in his many forms reminds us of how important it is to be relentless and cunning. In the very introduction of this game we see not only once, but twice. Because, you know, Sekiro Shadows Die... Okay, I'm out. Just kidding, but we see a couple of times how Ashina warriors will take advantage of any resource they have to be the last standing in combat. The intro cinematic shows Ishin clinging on to dear life against Tamura's raw strength, wielding a cross-bladed spear. He tries to Mikiri him, but he's no shinobi, after which he decides to go for a literal low blow to open Tamura's stance, and the rest is story. The general spear was added to Ishin's arsenal. Like adoptive grandpa, like adoptive grandson I guess, because Genichiro isn't against the idea of getting help. to defeat you. Which would usually be a dishonorable act, but we're in Ashina, boys. Who the fuck cares about honor in this land? Ishin himself, sorry, I mean the Tengu himself, says that what matters is to stay alive no matter what, and that's the foundation of the Ashina style. With all these hints, the player has to realize that anything goes, so instead of fighting everyone head-on, you have to lurk around, stalk your prey, take advantage of your tools to capitalize on their weaknesses, and most importantly, find blind spots from where you slaughter your prey. Wrong game, my bad. Hesitation is defeat doesn't only refer to being smart, but also, as I mentioned before, to be relentless. In other Souls games, especially the Dark Souls trilogy, you are encouraged to play carefully. Attacks are slow, you have to turtle behind your shield, and try to find openings when big enemies attack and you dodge. In Sekiro, it's all about applying a fuck ton of pressure to your enemy. If they bury you, wait for your turn, and it's back to pressuring once again. Taking your time to parry fish or roll out of an attack thrown at you by a man who would have passed away naturally had you waited 5 more minutes to fight him isn't the go-to technique here. In Ashina, everyone is in their prime. The tutorial boss has 3 health bars, throws lightning at you, and is immortal. This old man got testicular cancer, but that doesn't mean he can solo the entire continent. Need I remind you that his very existence was the only thing holding the Interior Ministry forces at bay? I'm beating around the bush a little, my bad, I get too motivated when glazing Sekiro is at hand. What I'm trying to say is, you're fighting these people at their peak, so you have to go at them with all you got. Wait! You can't back away, they'll recover their posture and consequently you'll lose most of your progress. Every boss has a trigger that makes them go for a specific attack if you heal not too far from them, which means you'll only have enough time to chug that healing water and sometimes not even that. So, what are you waiting for, fellow shinobi? Go out there, swallow all the sugar Ashina has to offer, and give them hell. For my next video, I'll be analyzing the Soulsborne games to find out which one has the most disappointing secret boss in terms of how much effort you put into finding it and the reward you get. Subscribe so you don't miss it. See you in the next one, friend. Bye.